Finally, after all these years, I'm going to be revamping the one character that's been the staple of either my DeviantArt or my YouTube channel. That's right, it's Anna. She is probably the oldest character I have and the most famous character I have, both simultaneously. And I think she deserved a bit of a remake, especially since, you know, she's so old. A bit of history about Anna. Anna first started off as a personification of myself back in, I want to say 2012 to 2015-ish. She was supposed to be basically just a personification of myself, but she started to turn into so much more after that. And she eventually became her own character. And eventually after that, she became a creepypasta of all things, because I was still interested in creepypastas at the time. She started off as kind of like a girl who was roped into being a creepypasta, but then her story turned into her being the daughter of Slender Man. And I wouldn't know where to begin with that, or how to explain why it happened like that, if I'm being honest, because I have no idea. It just kind of did. Anna's always been a very sassy, older sister type character, but in this revamp, her entire personality kind of pulled a 180. Like, not to say that she isn't sassy, but she also doesn't speak, so yeah. So as I said before, Anna's real creepypasta phase started when she was the daughter of Slender Man. But since I wanted her to be a standalone character and be substantial on her own, I decided to switch up her story a little bit. So I'll explain in a little bit what her story consists of now. The story goes back to 2014, where Anna is a very kind of closed off person. She's antisocial and she's kind of like a social outcast because not too many people in her neighborhood are kind of like interested in rock, and she's the only person of color who is interested in rock. And she meets up with a group of people, a couple other girls who are also interested in rock and the alternative fashion, and they become friends. Anna's finally found a place where she's belonged, and she's happy, to say the least. So one night, the girls and her are over at one of their friends' house, and they decide, hey, let's go play a game in the middle of the woods. Like every good horror story starts off. So Anna, again, not wanting to feel left out, agrees. And they go off into the middle of the woods to play whatever game in question it is. Whether it be hide and seek or something, I haven't fully decided yet, as I haven't just sat down to write it out. So Anna gets lost in the woods, and they're searching for her for a while until it starts getting extremely dark outside. And to protect themselves, they decide that they weren't going to tell anyone that they're the reason why she's gone missing. And they kept it a secret. And they did just that. It was a secret. They were the only ones who knew basically where the general whereabouts of her were. Years later, all these girls are adults now. Some have settled down and started a family, and others just stayed single. And weird things start happening. It's just shadowy figures in the corners of bedrooms, or the lights flickering, or power surges, the usual. But then it starts getting more precarious when they start seeing forms in the shadows. And the form takes after a little girl with fluffy brown hair with red down the middle. Anna. And it starts off with the shadowy figure just kind of standing in corners or standing behind them in mirrors just without saying anything, with pitch black eyes. And of course the girls are rightfully scared because how? Why? Huh? But it can only get weirder from there. And the girls start having hallucinations about things that didn't really happen to them. and they start hearing voices. And very quickly, the hallucinations of Anna start appearing up more, and you start even interacting with actual items around the house or other people. At this point, the figure is very much solid and would just bump into walls or throw things onto the floor, or would just hover over them while they slept and would drive the girls to madness. And like every good creepypasta story, you can assume what happens from then on when the girls are driven to madness. Some of them eventually confess, and some of them take it to their grave. So, Anna in this story, or her new story I should say, because it is her story now, is a guilt ghost. She spends the rest of eternity hunting down people who have done her wrong or other people wrong. And basically just, you know, being creepy and so on. So yeah. It's so nice to see like the oldest character that's probably the most recognizable on my YouTube channel get a nice little revamp, because now she's her own standalone creepypasta and she's creepy. Like rightfully so creepy. I kind of wanted to keep like the tendril motif that she had when she was still a slender being, but I decided maybe no, because I didn't really need it. And I think she's cooler this way, and also she's very adorable with her fluffy hair, and I keep calling her a girl even though they're gender fluid. But you know, they're gender fluid, so it's fine. But yeah, essentially that's Anna's new story. And I hope one of these days I can actually sit down to write her story. I am very much a chicken. I don't even know how I got interested in creepypasta. It's the mental illness love. And also, you can head over to the description to find a Discord link to my YouTube Discord, or you can go over to Instagram and find that Discord, which was two different Discords, because the things I post on Instagram and the things I post on YouTube are very much two different things, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little journey of me revamping 𝘂𝐸 and seeing them become their own little horror story and an actual creepypasta certified of the title creepypasta. Click some other videos that look interesting to you. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and comment. Leave something a little funny so I can chuckle out later or something. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye, my little pumpkins. Mwah!